Welcome to the Tayde Aburto show. California is the fifth largest economy in the world. And as you can see, we have beautiful cities, incredible deserts, mountains with rivers, lakes, snow, you name it. California has been blessed by Mother Nature. In this video, I'll be sharing some interesting data about California migration and the latest trends that are affecting California's economy. And we're gonna ask ourselves, to live or not to live? That's the question. Stay tuned. To live or not to leave California, that's the big question, my friends. And that's what a lot of California residents are asking themselves right now because of everything that is happening in California and everything that is happening in the country with this pandemic. So, if you're a California resident, you already know that we have to pay a lot of taxes and cost of living is high. So you get to a point where you ask yourself if all the hard work and everything that you are doing is worth it, if it is worth it to stay here in California. And unfortunately for a lot of California residents, it is not worth it, and they are leaving right now. Last year we had a deficit of 135,000 people, meaning that there were more people that left California than the ones that moved to California. And when you have that large migration of folks leaving California, it's not good for the economy. And we saw that last year. We started 2019 with a surplus of $6 billion, and we ended up with a deficit of more than $50 billion. And it's not just California residents, the ones who are leaving the state. It's also small businesses, and that's, for me, what is very concerning, because the small businesses are the ones that help to create jobs, a lot of jobs across the state. So when you have such a large number of small businesses leaving the state, of course that you can expect a negative impact in the state economy. And not just that. I found this a statistic that said that between 2008 and 2019, 18,000 companies have left California. And we're talking about large companies, the ones that hire a lot of people here in the state. They have left. We have other companies, even like Hewlett Packard, who started in the Silicon Valley as one of the first programs launched by Stanford. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the first well-known company that came out of that program. And Hewlett Packard has moved their headquarters to Texas, and Tesla is building a new gigafactory in Texas. Oracle's headquarters have moved to Texas too. So we have large companies leaving the state, and that's not good for the economy because they are some of the largest taxpayers in the state. So if the state doesn't rely on that income, then you need to start figuring out how you're going to compensate those losses. And then on top of that, because of the pandemic and everything that happened last year and is still happening, big companies like Facebook and Twitter and Google, now they're letting their employees to work remotely indefinitely. So when you have that option where you still keep your same salary, but now you have the option to work from anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country. If you have a family of 2 children, like my wife and I do, and you know how expensive it is to live here in California, if you want to provide more to your family, with that salary that you currently have, I will probably leave too, because you start running some numbers. If you move to Austin, which is trending right now, a lot of people are moving to Austin or Boise, Idaho, or some places in Oregon, Washington State. We have some friends that have left to those states. When you run the numbers of how much it costs you to buy a house, for example, in California, the average price of a home is at least $500,000. If you live in an area where you feel comfortable growing up your children, and they have a good school district, etc. There are a lot of variables that you have to take into consideration when you move to certain areas in California. So most of those areas, the average price of the homes is very pricey. So if you already bought a house here in California and then you have this opportunity to move somewhere else while you keep your job, you sell your house, most likely you can make a good profit on it, depending on how much money you still have to pay. But with the average of $500,000, you will have some equity that you can invest in another property wherever you decide to live. Homes in Idaho or homes in Texas are not as pricey as they are in California. So when you take all that into consideration, for a lot of families, it is a no-brainer, because you can start saving more money. You can invest some of that money into other financial assets. So it makes a lot of sense when you start thinking about 5 years, 10 years from now, where do you want to be, and how do you want to keep handling your finances. I don't blame all that people living in California right now, because there aren't enough well-paid jobs in California, but the cost of living keeps increasing, and there are more regulations that are making difficult for example, for small businesses to thrive in here. But because of the pandemic, I'm also starting to see some cool stuff, like the first time that I incorporated a company here in California, I asked myself, like, why does the state charge the $800 to a new company? It should be waived at least the first year. And that's happening right now because of the pandemic. So that's really great news for entrepreneurs across the state. They have the option right now, if they lost their job, to start a company, and they don't have to worry about paying the state tax for an LLC or whatever legal status you decide to incorporate your company. So that's a really good decision there made by the state. And I'm thinking that after this situation that we are living right now, I think some of our elected officials in Sacramento are going to get a little more sensitive about the needs that Californians have overall, and they're probably going to take a step back in some of the regulations that were implemented at such a macro level that started to affect, like, the middle class in California. And I know that some of those regulations are set up, or thought in a way that they thought that they were going to help us out. But oftentimes, like, the middle class of the small businesses just, like, stay right in the middle of all these political stuff, and it just end up affecting the finances and the well-being of a lot of California families across the state. So, like I said, hopefully there's going to be a little less regulations, and the implementations of certain policies that can help to reduce a little the cost of living in California. So, when you think about all this stuff, I think at this point right now, because of everything that is happening, California will take a a little different direction, and it will do it in a way that it will benefit the growth and development of the state. Let's not forget that California is the fifth largest economy in the world, and there is such a resilient community that lives in the state. And I think that we're gonna be fine. We're gonna come out of this situation stronger than ever. And what I like about what is happening right now is that sensitivity that you can feel in some of the elected officials, something that you didn't feel before. It was like a completely different vibe. So I think that's going to change, and it's going to be good for everyone. And in our situation, for my wife and I, to leave or not to leave, I think for us is to stay. We're not leaving California. You grow. I mean, for me, at least for me, I mean, my wife was raised here in California, so she is a Californian. But for me, that I'm an immigrant, that I moved here in 2006, I can tell you that the love for California grows really fast. It's a beautiful state, and as you could see in some of the videos that I show you in the intro, it's a beautiful state with so many great things around us that it's very difficult to leave all that, because we live in a perfect place. Of course, that nothing is completely perfect in life. There are certain things that we would love them to be a little better. But like I said, I think as a result of this pandemic, there are going to be certain situations, certain things in California that will change for good, and that's going to be very beneficial for all the residents, for all the California residents. I'm sorry. And like I said, my wife and I, we love San Diego. My children were born here, and also because of my son's situation, we love his cardiologist. She's amazing, and I think we're gonna follow her everywhere she goes. And hopefully she will never leave San Diego. But she has been a blessing for my son and his recovery after all the all the heart surgeries that he has had. I think California and especially San Diego is a place for us to be. We love San Diego. We love California. My wife and I love the Central Coast, and we love Southern California. There is such a diverse community here with a lot of talented people, a lot of talented entrepreneurs. I happen to work with a lot of them, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have to work with small businesses all across the state, but mainly in the Southern California area. So motivated to see everything that these people have to go through to stay in business and to contribute to the growth and development of the state. So, like I said, hopefully after this pandemic and with everything that we have learned in the last year, we see a little more relaxed policies that can motivate more California residents to stay and not to live anywhere else, because we need them. We need their high-paid jobs in the state. We need their talent in the state. I saw this other statistic that said that most of the Californians that are leaving the state have an annual revenue of $100,000. So a lot of those folks are essential workers. We need their skill set, to keep the economy moving. So if we start losing people with different backgrounds and different skills, it's going to be very difficult to find those folks that will keep the economy going. So let's hope that the California migration stays on the positive side this year. and we don't lose any more Californians to our neighbor states. It's needed. We need you guys here, and I also think that our elected officials will come up with some great ideas to keep California moving. They have done it in the past, and I don't have any doubts that the new folks that are coming, into positions of power over the next few years will have great ideas to keep California moving forward. So I hope that you enjoy watching this video, and let me hear you. Let me know what you think about California. Are you planning to leave? Are you planning to stay? What are your thoughts? Please share it in your comments, and make sure that you subscribe and you like this video and share it. And we'll see you next time. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. To leave or not to leave, we're staying. Thank you, California. We love you.